big shoulders. Who doesn't love to have big shoulders, whether as a bodybuilder for me, where it offsets a possible wider waist, where a lot of people have trouble maintaining that beautiful X-frame, that V-taper. You need wide delts to offset anything else in your physique. You will always look better. Or when you're just walking around in a t-shirt, you will always look a lot better with wide and big shoulders. And today I'm going to show you exactly the workout I would do to create the 3D effect boulder shoulder belts. Let's go. So most people would train the front delts first when doing a shoulder movement or any shoulder workouts, because the front delts, that's the shoulders, right? However, if you want the maximum width in the shoulders, it is not the front delts, it is the side delts and also the rear delts. And I'm gonna start this shoulder workout with a side lateral raise, but another twist. Not just a side lateral raise with the dumbbells, because as we all know from science and from experience, most growth occurs at the bottom of the rep. But what happens with two dumbbells? You go up, a lot of tension here, but right here, there's nothing left. But here, you want the most tension. So I found out a solution for this. So we're gonna move to a cable pulley. What I wanna do is actually not put this very low. A lot of people will be doing this, but if you would then do the side lateral raise, the problem you get is here you have a lot of tension, but here, once again, it is gone. How do we get the tension at the bottom of the rep where the stretch is the highest? This is how we do this. You put this at least at hip height, but if you want to hack this movement even more, put it just a little higher. Why? Because you don't want to fill at the top, you want to fill at the bottom. Because right now, I'm going to go up here, it's actually extremely light. When I'm going here, however, this is going to get heavier. So you will always be able to go from here to here. This is very easy. Here it is difficult, which means the most difficult part is where you get the most tension. So let's just get started on doing the first warm-up set. And with the side down, you always want to stick to 15 to 20 to even 25 reps. It's a small muscle group which requires a lot of volume and a low weight, so to shift the tension from the traps to the side delts. So as you can see, the pump is getting quite there. Why? Because it's high volume. This targets the side delts perfectly, and at least 3 to 4 sets. Now, I would do 4 sets of this if this is going to be the only side delt movement, but I would do 3 sets if you're going to combine this with another side delt movement, which we're going to do right now. Some of you guys know exactly what this will be. It is going to be the side lateral raise with a dumbbell on an incline. This is a true old school movement, which kinda still replenishes your thirst for dumbbells and free weights, and still have the effect of a machine, because the tension will still be at the stretch part. Let me show you exactly why that is. By actually laying down on our side on an incline just like this, pretty much like 45 degrees or a little bit lower, what you prefer. Lay down like this, put your front leg all the way to the back and your other leg right this, so you have the maximum range of motion, because right here in the stretch position, you can see in the delts already the striations, the tension. That is what we want. Then we go all the way up, and here, there's nothing anymore. So what you want to do, go all the way down, the tension is here, up until about this point, because above this, the tension will get less. You want to stay at the maximum time on the tension zone, which is about this. And trust me, this is quite heavy already. So the benefit is you can only do not even half the weight of your normal side lateral raise and get the same, if not better, effects. Oh, isn't this overkill? We just did a side lateral raise with the cable. Now we're gonna do it with a dumbbell. Isn't that too much? Well, in this shoulder workout, it isn't, because we are not going to focus so much on the front delts. We're going to focus mostly on the side and the rear delt. That gives us some free volume space to pretty much put into the side and the rear. And trust me guys, when is the last time you had muscle ache in the side delt? I'll wait, because you haven't. It's going to be very difficult to over-stress this muscle. It can take a lot of volume, which means we can use that volume to make it grow. So this combination is perfect to really fill up those side delts. The next one is going to be for the rear delts, the posterior delts. So that means when you're doing a side chest, you want the front, the side and the rear to be in balance, to create those bolder pumpkin delts. So this movement is one of my favorite ones to do. It's very easy. It's kind of like a reverse pec deck. So I call this reverse flies. And make sure that, you know, your arm is pretty much straight, not too far down, not too far up. And then all you have to do is think about only contracting the rear delts and not like this, the traps, because otherwise you will cheat the movement. And just like the side delts, high volume to make sure the rear delts are being targeted and not the traps. Oh. So I like to do at least 3 to 4 sets here as well. And one benefit of this is when you have front delt pain, when you're doing a dumbbell press or a bench press, for example, apart from not doing those movements incorrectly, you can also train the rear delts more often to kind of balance out the pulling on the joint. So you don't want the front delt to pull more on the joint than the rear delt. If it does, you will get a hunched over, pretty much posture. You want to be like this. And to be like this, you need to have strong rear delts. So one important tip I have for you guys on the reverse pec deck is every single grip on every single machine could be different. But one thing that should always be the same, consistent, whichever you do, is your hands should be as close together as possible, because then you will have the most range of motion in the stretch. And more stretch is more growth. You grab it on the inside, your hands are close together, and then you have a much better stretch, much longer tension on the rear delt, which just makes it much easier to make it nice and big. Now, after doing the reverse flies, there's an isolation for the rear delts, as I mentioned, but you can also do a slightly heavier motion for this. As you already isolate the rear delts, now they will be the first thing that will fill anyway. So it's going to be kind of a row with a chest support, but with our favorite, the free weights. So what you want to do is have an incline bench at a height that when you lay down, face down, the dumbbells that you're going to grab won't hit the floor. So if it's going to be too high, you can't reach them. If it's going to be too low, you're going to hit the floor. So here I have 2 dumbbells. And what you want to do is go straight up. You really contract the rear delts here, just like that. And really focus on the contraction. And that way, as you pre-exhausted them, they will be the first thing to fill on this movement. So I would view this movement kind of as a rear delt reverse fly slash row, as you don't want to go straight up, but think about going down with the dumbbells hitting each other and going outwards and up. That way you truly engage the rear delt. If you go straight up, there's going to be a lot of tread. It's kind of like a regular back row. But if you go here, dumbbells all together, go outwards and upwards, you will hit the rear delts very well. So as I mentioned on a few exercises already, we're not going to focus really on the front delts. Whenever we train the chest, you can see the front delts are pretty trained already. Have you ever had chest muscle ache without the front delts feeling anything? Almost never. The front delts are always involved, which is why doing a shoulder press, a military press, is not your first course of action unless the front delts are clearly behind the side and the rear. If they're not behind, I would simply do it at the very end, or even do something different like what I'm about to show you right now. So this is kind of like the true old school front raise, just like this. What you want to do is go all the way up until about you see the dumbbell in front of your eye and then go back down. Because here, there's no tension anymore. I know this is Arnold's form, just like this. And that's not the way you should do it, unfortunately, for Arnold. He didn't have the greatest delts, but, you know, the chest is way better, though, I understand. But if you go all the way here, you keep the tension. And if you keep motion, the tension is going to create also at the bottom of the movement. You can also do it with one arm like this at a time to keep constant tension on the delts as well. So it's kind of up to you, but I would still stick to around 15 to 20 reps here for the front delt to kind of isolate it from the rest. And if you want, you can still do a shoulder press or a military press with a barbell if you want, but in my opinion, if your front delts are not behind and you want to create bigger shoulders, it's not going to be really necessary. Alrighty guys, that's how I like to train the shoulders. Remember, the side delts make you look nice and wide, not only in tank tops, but also in t-shirts. Just like this Able t-shirt, which is of course available with code Wesley. And right now it is summer sale, so there's a lot of discount on the website, including my Dutch Oak collection, which the tank top I was wearing is part of. Thank you very much for the incredible support, guys. And of course, if you like this video, let me know down below and which other body parts you might want to see that you want to grow. Anyway, thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay golden.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep